All right, notes 22, polar continued. Here we go, guys. It says replace the polar equation by an equivalent Cartesian rectangular equation, then identify or describe the graph. Okay, so let's describe the graph. So we have r equals 4 cosecant theta. The three main equations, guys, that we're going to be using over and over again is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. We know that x is equal to r cosine theta, and we know that y is equal to r sine theta. Those are the three main ones. There is another one, like to get your angle, the theta. You can do arctan of y over x. That's not the only way. If you have your r, you can use arcsine, you can use arc cosine. But usually, arctan, and then check your quadrant. Okay. Nothing crazy? Okay. Question number 1. I see r equals 4 cosecant theta. I know that, what do I know? That cosecant theta is the same thing as 1 over sine. So I'm going to rewrite this as r equals 4 over sine theta. Are we still okay? Oh, what was that? Oh, probably that phone. Probably your phone, miss. Probably just turned on. Times sine theta times sine theta. Child, why'd you do that? Because I recognize, look what you have on the left-hand side. When you multiply that, you're going to have r sine theta equals 4. What does r sine theta equal? Y. So this is y equals 4. So how do we describe this graph? It's just a line. It's just a horizontal line at y equals 4. So here's my grid. Here is 4. And it's just that. So r equals 4 cosecant theta is just this line, y equals 4. One's in Cartesian or polar, and the other one's in polar form, one's in Cartesian form. What was the question, Rodriguez?
No, I don't. So we're solving for like the other form of the equation?
Yeah, we're just going from one form of the equation to another.
Okay.
So you have a polar, and we're just getting it in terms of y and x. You know what I mean? Let's continue, guys. So let's go to number 2. So notice that it says r cosine theta plus r sine theta equals 1. Hopefully it's screaming here. Look at this. What is r cosine theta? No, x. What is r sine theta? Y. So this is x plus y equals 1. Do we see that, guys? All right. If I move the x to the... By the way, you can type it in like that on delta. But if you move the x to the other side, you get y equals negative x plus 1. And that's just a linear line. That's just a linear line with a y-intercept of 1 and a slope of negative 1. So that right there is r cosine theta plus r sine theta equals 1, which is the same thing as saying y equals negative x plus 1. How do we feel, guys? Nothing crazy, right? Oh, hey, Kilgore. If you're listening to this video right now, they just announced that activities are canceled, but let me know what you want to do and see what's up. I'm going to send this to her in a little bit.
How do you know, like, that the graph's faced that way and it's not faced like a positive line? Because it's a negative relation. It's a negative line.
Negative slope with a y-intercept of 1. And the slope is negative 1, so I need to be decreasing as I go left to right. Right? Because my slope is negative 1, miss. And y-intercept is 1. So negative slope means decreasing left to right. Do you know what I'm talking about or no? Ask me, Michaela. Oh, should I not have used your first name? I'm sorry, miss. No, because I want to know. I want you to ask.
It's the way you said it. So you said Michaela, but it's Michaela.
Oh, Michaela. I'm super tired too. So.
I do that too. I say Michaela.
So, we're okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Let the record show that we are okay. Right. Lazardi, you doing it right, Lazardi? All right. Check it out. I have this one here. What feels right? What's your intuition, Lazardi, on this one? Okay, something with the bottom. What should I do? I heard someone. Divide? Multiply? What do you think? Yeah, multiply by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply by sine theta minus 2 cosine theta. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other. Multiply by sine theta minus 2 cosine theta. So here's what you have. You're going to have r on the outside, sine theta minus 2 cosine theta. I was going to distribute it, but leave it alone right there. Equals 5. Thank you, miss.
We'll be back.
Okay. Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Distribute. Okay, don't let me forget this, guys, because without that, we can't access the lab. Distribute the r. So we're going to have r sine theta minus 2r cosine theta equals 5. And OMG, look at this. R sine theta is something, and r cosine theta is something. What is that something? Yep, y minus 2x equals 5. R sine theta is y, r cosine theta is x. And now look, guys, now we know how this expression looks like. If you move that negative 2x to the right, it turns to a positive. So y equals 2x plus 5. And there it is. We can all graph that. So here's my little grid. Here's my grid. And 2x plus 5. So it probably looks something like this. Where here's the 5 and then the slope is 2. You comprende? Yes. All right, look at number 4. What is this little word here? It says shift. Let me see. Click. Does anything happen? No.
Maybe it's shifted when you have to press something else.
It did something to the 5? Let me shift. Let me see. Let me click, shift. Okay, I guess that's from an update. Anyways, cosine squared equals sine squared. So at the moment, all I have right now is that x equals r cosine theta and that y equals r sine theta. And so I have a cosine theta and a sine theta there. So I'm going to find out what cosine and sine theta are respectively. I divide both sides by r. Divide. So that means cosine theta is equal to x over r. Do you guys see that? Same thing with this. Divide by r. Child, why are you doing that? Because I want to get the cosine and sine by itself. Why do you want to get it by itself? Well, because I have this. That means cosine theta squared equals sine theta squared. See? That's all it means. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take these values and I'm going to substitute it. Cosine theta is x over r. Sine theta is y over r. Do you guys see what we're doing there? So I'm going to come back and I'm going to write x over r, close it squared, equals parenthesis y over r, close it squared.
So the only difference is like we're changing it to getting.
Yeah.
Like
I just use my law of exponents. X squared over r squared equals y squared over r squared. Would you guys be okay if I just cancel out the r squares, or do you guys not like that? Okay. Yeah. Bam, bam. Here's my equation. X squared equals y squared. Chubb, I don't know how that looks. How does that look? If you were to solve for 1, so let's go ahead and solve for y, because that's usually what we do all the time anyway. So I'm going to rewrite it. Y squared equals x squared. And if I were to take the square root of that to get rid of the squares, you would get y equals plus minus x. Really, I should have written it in 2 equations. Y1 equals positive x, and y2 equals negative x. So how does that look? It looks like this, guys. I'll write it right here. It looks like this. Here's y equals x. Here's y equals negative x.
So it creates 2 lines?
It just creates 2 lines like that. It looks like an X. Like if you're part of X-Men or something. X-Women. No, does that? Okay, X-Men. I'll stop. All right. Let's go to number 5. R equals 8 sine theta. Okay, guys, so we're trying to get rid of this sine theta and that R. So let's focus on the sine theta. Don't worry, later on we're going to really focus on it. So how do I get rid of that sine theta? I need to have something in the front of that, no? Yeah, if I want to replace it with Y, what do I need in front of it? An R. Hey, don't yawn, that's a demerit. So if I plug in an R right here, that means I got to multiply the left side by an R. Perfect. R squared equals 8R sine theta. And what is R squared? X squared plus Y squared. X squared plus Y squared equals, and then this R sine theta is just Y equals 8Y. Hopefully you know, if you get anything that says X squared plus Y squared, it's going to be a circle. So let's go ahead. We know it's a circle already. Let's complete the square so we can find out where the center is. So move this 8y to the left. X squared plus Y squared minus 8y plus blank equals 0. Because I moved it to the left of the equal sign. Because I have, you can't get the y by itself because you already have a y squared on the left. This is a circle, so it's going to be in the form of x minus h close it squared plus y minus k close it squared equals, you're going to get it in this form.
Oh, okay. That's what we did that one class, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's what we did that one class.
I thought you were just doing the 8 by itself. I didn't realize that it was just 8y.
Yeah, it's 8. Yeah. All right, here we go, guys. There's a trinomial. And I'm going to turn that trinomial into a binomial with a square on it. So to do that, you could do something called complete the square. What's 8 divided by 2? And what's that number squared? Plus 16. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So here's what this looks like. I have x plus parenthesis y minus what? No. 4, close it, put a square equals 16. This is your equation. That's how an equation of a circle looks like. Where is the center? Some of you are taking an SAT pretty soon, guys. So hopefully you'll get these correct. The center is at 0, not 0, -4, 0, 4. And the radius is, well, r squared is 16, so my radius has to be 4. Take the square root. How does it look? Well, here's my grid. Let's see. I'm going to exaggerate the positive y-axis. I'm going to put a point. I'm going to say that point there is 0, 4. That's the center. I'm going to go down 4 units, put a point. Chav, why are you going down 4 units? Because that's the radius. I'm going to go to the left 4 units from the center, point. I'm going to go to the right 4 units from the center, point. I'm going to go up 4 units from the center, point. And here's my circle. Yeah, man, I cooked on that one. Hopefully I can eat what I cook. I'll stop. Straight fire. It's bussin'. We ate. Are you full from everything you just ate right now? Is it not fire? That was bussin'. I'll stop, guys, because maybe it's cringe. I hope it's not too cringe. All right. Huh? We'll see. We'll see about that. All right. Convert. I didn't spell it correctly. It says convert. Put a T in there. Convert the equation below from rectangular form to polar form, solving for R in terms of theta. All right, guys. So I just want to see R and theta. That's it. I do not want to see X's and Y's now. So now we're going backwards. So obviously this is a line, just a vertical line. See, look, if you look at it, that's just x equals -19. So that's just a vertical line way over here somewhere in -19. But anyways, that's not what's important now on this. We will be graphing this the next time we see each other. And don't worry, we're going to talk about all the situations. All right, here we go. You guys ready? Lizardi, you ready? We know that x squared plus y squared equals r squared. We know that x equals r cosine theta. And we know that y equals r sine theta. There's another one, but those are the main 3 ones. I see just a lone x. So all I'm going to do is just plug in that r cosine theta. So r cosine theta plus 19 equals 0. They want me to solve for r. So I'm going to get the r by itself. Move the 19. Hey, no yawning. That's a demerit. R cosine theta equals negative 19. We're just solving for R, isolating R. How do I get R by itself? Divide it. R equals negative 19 over cosine theta. That's an okay answer. Delta will take it when you get the assignment in a little bit and you get this one. That's an okay answer. Is there a better answer? Yeah. 1 over cosine is the same thing as what? Secant. Secant. So the better answer is this one. But if you type negative 19 over cosine theta, that's fine as well. But just know that 1 over cosine is secant, and you can write it just as that. So delta will take this one. Delta will take that one. And I don't know if you know this, but guys, you can also type the word theta, T-H-T-A, and it'll come out. The theta symbol will come out when you type it out. All right. So here's not necessarily a hack. You see how both the x and the y's are squared? Okay, focus, guys. If the x and the y's are squared, before you replace anything, check, make life easier for yourself. Look, the x and the y are squared when r is squared. Do you guys see that? So check if you can do that. So move that to the left, and then look, x squared plus y squared equals 16. They're being nice to us. So now I can just replace the x squared plus y squared with a r squared. So r squared equals 16. But I don't want r squared. I just want r square root. R equals 4. If you were to type this in the graphing calculator, you would get a circle on the center at the origin with a radius of 4. Yes.
Is it y squared comes first, or it's like, does it matter if you were to format it as y squared plus x squared?
Doesn't matter.
Same thing, right?
A plus b is the same as b plus a. All right, here you go, guys. Number 8. That's a circle as well, centered somewhere, but right now we're just focused on getting the equation in terms of r. I guess focus. So look at what I have on the left side. X squared plus y squared. What am I going to replace that with? R squared equals 21. 21. Do something. I'll stop. R cosine theta. Do you guys see what we did? All right, here we go. R squared equals 21. R cosine theta. I'll stop, guys. I'll stop. I'm going to go ahead. I want one R, but I notice there's an R here and there's an R squared here. So if I divide by R, both sides, I notice that I will have one single R, which is what I want. R equals 21. Tell me what we want. Okay, I'll stop. 21 cosine theta. I'll stop before it gets rowdy, you know?
So the R, is it like a value of part of the cosine, right? It's like a...
It's just in polar form. So that means I have a you have a circle, 21 cosine theta, and it's that one's gonna be, I think the center is gonna lie on the x-axis. Look, check it out. We can see it real quick. We're gonna be talking about these anyways pretty soon. So look, wow, check it out. I'm gonna change my mode, and I'm gonna go to polar, and then I'm gonna go to y equals, and I'll put 21 cosine theta, and check it out. Well, let me see, because we can't see it right now. I need to have a pretty big 21, 0 to 21 should be fine. And then, you okay, miss? Oh, how's it going? Let me go back. Child, that doesn't look like a circle at all. Guys, the window's not a square window. Let me see if it fixes it for me. Nice and pretty. Zoom square. Look at that. That's a circle. It's a circle centered. If we would have done it, complete the square, we would have figured it out. It's what's 21 divided by 2? 10.5. So 10.5 comma 0. So this guy right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10.5. Right there is the middle of the center of the circle. We didn't complete the square, so we didn't solve it for in this format. X minus h close it squared plus y minus k close it squared equals r squared. But not a big deal because they weren't in terms of r. Don't worry, we're gonna practice graphing a little bit, or not today, but next time. Right now, we just want to see if we can mess around with these, go from one to the other and the other to the other. That makes sense, guys? Okay. So check it out. I have a linear line here. We're just gonna change the x and the y. So negative 8 r cosine theta equals negative r sine theta plus 5. All I did was replace the x with r cosine theta and replace the y with r sine theta. Are we okay with that, guys? Okay. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to solve for r. So I'm going to move this negative r sine theta to the left. R sine theta minus 8r cosine theta equals 5. Are we okay? All right, what can I factor out? Oh, what's up?
Why is it minus 8 instead of minus -8?
Oh, if you say minus -8, it turns to a plus. Minus -8 r cosine theta. You can say plus -8 if you wanted to. R sine theta plus -8 r cosine theta. You could have said that. But usually the common thing to do is just remove the plus and it says r sine theta minus. You know what I mean? So yeah, let me do a side note. That's a good question, miss. Please ask. So let's say I have like negative b equals negative a plus c. This is just a side note, guys. Don't write any of this down. If I move that a to the left, it's easier to me to write a minus b. But you could have, if you wanted to, write a plus a negative b, see, equals c. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Here we go, guys. What was the question, Houston? You had your hand up. Okay. I have an R right here. I have an R right there. What can I factor out? An R. I want to factor out the R because we're trying to solve for R. R, and then I'm going to write sine theta minus 8 cosine theta equals 5. We still all right? All right, all right.
Why is it still parentheses? Or why did you?
Because I factored out the R.
Oh, okay.
No, ask us. It's all good. All right. Last move. I want to get the R by itself. What do? Divide. Here's my final answer. R equals 5 over sine theta minus 8 cosine theta. No, that's it. No, this one there's 2 terms in the bottom. If I have 2 terms in the bottom, I'm going to leave it. If you have 1 term, you can make it better. You can make it into something that's not a fraction. You know what I mean? But because I have 2 terms, I'm going to leave it. All right. Here we go. This looks a little different. Chop, why does this look a little different? All right, Lazardi, give me your A game on this one. No, you're good. This is the answer to question number 10. Notice that it looks funky. Relax. I'm going to help you out. I'm even going to write steps because you guys love steps. All right. Ready? It says, no, don't be scared. We're still using the same formulas. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. X equals r cosine theta. Y equals r sine theta. And I put different levels. Level 1, level 2, level 3, they all ramp up in levels because I want to make sure that you guys can see that I'm not just doing the easiest ones. Don't you guys, well, I'm not trying to talk smack, but do you guys find it funny how sometimes teachers do the easy problems and then they give you the harder ones? They're like, what the heck? Yeah, we don't do that here. We do all of them here. All right. So what are we going to do? Here's what you're going to do. We want it in terms of X and Y. So what does that mean? Focus on the big picture, guys, because if you don't focus on the big picture, you're gonna get lost and frustrated. I don't want to see any cosine thetas. I don't want to see any R's. I just want to see X and Y's. I'm gonna start rapping there, but I decided not to. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna rewrite this. You see how I have r to the 4th times cosine theta? I'm gonna rewrite this. I'm gonna write r cubed times r cosine theta equals 13. Why did I do that?
So you can get X.
Hell yeah, so I can get x. R cosine theta is x. Do you guys see that? Yes. Yes. So here we go. This r cosine theta, that's x. So I'm going to rewrite r cubed times x equals 13. So here's my first bullet. So bullet. If, quote unquote, r that you have in the expression is odd, it's an odd, if r is, of r in the expression has a, okay, I obviously English is not my strength here. If r in the expression has an odd exponent, there we go, comma, turn it even. Turn it even by squaring it. Squaring it. All right. I wrote that bullet. It says if r in the expression has an odd exponent, turn it even by squaring it. Oh, do I have an odd exponent on r? Okay, I'm going to square it. Square the whole thing because then it just becomes magic. Square the whole thing. Whatever you do to one side, you're going to do to the other. You have to. So now here's what I have. I'm going to rewrite what I have. I have r to the 6 times x squared equals, what's 13 times 13? 169. Yeah, now I'm going to do a side note because maybe we forgot our laws of exponents. All right, so side note. If you have, I'm just making this up, guys, just so you guys can see. If you have x cubed raised to the power 2, remember what that means. That means x cubed times x cubed. So look, there's 3 of them. X times x times x. X times x times x. That's a product. Whenever you're multiplying, you add up all the, how many x's do you count there? See? So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus x to the 6. So when you have an exponent raised to an exponent, the fast way to get your answer is just to multiply. 3 times 2 would have given you that 6 there. So what did I do here? I just did 3 times 2. And then that's a 1 here. So 1 times 2 is that 2 there. Do you guys see that? And that's your whole law of exponents that you probably took like 20 minutes to do a proof in like 10 seconds just for that little part. There's more to it than just that, but that's just a gist. Okay. Next bullet. Turn your new r into r squared raised to blah. Trav, I don't get it. What does that mean? Okay. I want to have an r squared. So maybe I should say get, you know what? What does that mean? Get r squared. Okay, into blah. Yeah, blah. Yeah, you'll see right now. You'll see right now. What does it say here? That I need to get what? Get r squared. Okay, so I'm going to force this r to the 6 into r squared. So I'm going to write r squared, but it's still r. It's r to the 6, guys. So I'm going to put this in parentheses. And what power do I need here because it's still r to the 6? 3. X squared equals 169. So there it is. I got my r squared. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. Last thing. What is r squared? Yep, that's it. That's my last. So my third bullet, I'm going to say sub r squared. All right, so here it is. I'm just going to substitute. So parenthesis, x squared plus y squared raised to the power 3. X squared equals 169. Is that what they have here on the side? There it is. We got the answer. We did it, guys. Level 1. Don't worry. You guys are going to be beasts. You guys are going to eat this up. You're going to be so full. You're going to not want to have dinner tonight. All right. Side note. Relax. We're going to go slow. Look, I'll even turn this blue to differentiate from the top one here. Side note. Cosine squared theta, like that, the way you see it there, means cosine theta with a square on the outside like that. That's what it means. Are we still okay? Okay. So here we go. I'm gonna rewrite it. So I'm gonna write r equals 3, and I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just do this. Tell me. Well, okay, I'll write it like this: cosine theta, close it squared. I haven't done anything crazy. This 2 means that I have 2 of these: cosine theta times cosine theta, right? So I'm gonna rewrite. I'm gonna go r equals 3 cosine theta times cosine theta. All right, Chav, I don't know what to do now. So I got into here. Now what? Think big picture, guys. I do not want to see cosines or r's, but let's focus on the cosine. I don't want to see cosines. So the only way I can get rid of that cosine is if I have what in front of this? An r. So I'm going to change. If you have colored pencils, it is a good one for colored pencils. I'm going to change my color. And I'm going to put an r here, and I'm going to put an r there. Why did I do that? Because r cosine theta is x. Well, now, what did I do on the right-hand side? I multiplied this by, how many r's did I add? So on the left-hand side, I got to balance it by going r squared. See, because r, it's all a product. R times cosine times r, that's r squared, right? So if I added r squared on the right, I add r squared on the left. Does that make sense? What's up, Houston? Tell me.
Was like one thing. So why didn't I multiply r squared?
Because I added 2 r's. It is one thing, but doesn't cosine squared, that means this, right? And cosine, that squared means cosine times cosine, right? So don't worry, delta does it different. If you like delta's route, that's fine. But I find that this is the easiest one I found for everyone. Like everyone got it. They were like, oh, I got it. Boom. If you do it this way, you'll get it right all the time. Bam. Look at this. Sorry for the air. That cosine times cosine, that's your cosine squared. I added that r, I added that r. Look, that's r times r, that's r squared. So whatever you do to the right side, you do to the left. So now look what I have. Oh man, my receipt got thrown down there. I'll pick it up in a little bit. Now look what I have, guys. What's r squared times r? So I have r cubed equals, and now I have 3, and then look, that r cosine theta, that's an x. That r cosine theta, that's an x. What's x times x? X squared. All right. Are we still okay? Look at that r cubed. Is that an odd exponent? What does this bullet over here say if I have an odd exponent? Oh, okay. So I'm going to square this buddy, this dude. If I square that, then I got to what? Square the other, because there's an equal sign in the middle. So now I'm going to have r to the 6. So r to the 6 equals, what is law of exponents? What is 3 times 3? 9. What is x squared squared? X to the 4th. Yep, 2 times 2. All right. Now, what does the next bullet say? Turn your new r into r squared. R squared raised to the power 3, because it's still r to the 6. And that still equals... Okay, now what do I do with that r squared? Heck yeah. Giant parenthesis, x squared plus y squared, close it to the power 3, 9x to the 4th. What do you think? Oh. This. All right. Well, this is going to make even more sense. Haha. No, I'll stop. All right. Here we go. You guys ready? Here we go, guys. So check it out, Houston. What is that? Oh, you know what? This one has a one side note. I don't want that 2 theta, so I'm going to write it here on the side what sine 2 theta is. Sine 2 theta is equal to... Can you guys tell me what sine 2 theta is? You guys just did this a little while ago. Two
sine theta cosine theta.
Hell yeah, it is. This is what it is.
Oh.
Sine 2 theta equals 2 sine theta cosine theta. Are ye all right? did you eat? I don't know what I'm saying. All right, I need to stop messing around. Let's just do this. All right, here we go. So I have r equals that cube. I'm gonna write it like this, guys. 5 parentheses. I'm gonna write sine 2 theta close to the power 3. Chav, why did you write it like that? I wrote it like that so I can substitute what sine 2 theta is. Sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cosine theta.
Okay.
We country. Here we go. R equals 5 parenthesis 2 sine theta cosine theta close to the power 3. Where did the what? It was already part of the problem. All right, here we go, guys. 5, giant parenthesis. I'm using my law of exponents. What is 2 to the 3rd power? 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is? Put 8. You can say sine cube, but instead of saying sine cube, I'm going to say this. Times sine theta, times sine theta, times sine theta. Isn't that what sine cube means? Okay, and then you say, I have cosine, so I'm going to write what? Cosine theta 3 times. Cosine theta, cosine theta, cosine theta. Notice that it's a product. What's up, Lizardi? Tell me.
Oh, I figured it out.
You figured it out? You sure?
Yes.
Are you positive? Are you bussing?
Oh no.
Guys, I hope you guys know that I'm purposely using slang on like wrong, right? Like, you know, like that's what makes it funny to me. Like, just okay. Not yet, but yes, I'm gonna do this first. Yeah, I was getting back to it. I'm sorry, guys. What's 5 times 8? 40. Okay, and I guess let's just go ahead and write this like this again. 5 times 8 is 40, no? Okay, 40. And then I have 3 sine. I'm gonna write sine theta. I'm gonna put a little bit of space. That's for a reason. And then check this out. Cosine theta. Okay. I want to get rid of all those sines and I want to get rid of all those cosines. I need an R in front of every single one of those. Does that make sense? Relax. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I added 6 R's. So Houston's already giving me the answer for the left-hand side. I'm going to multiply the left-hand side by R to the 6. Do you guys see that? And R to the 6 times R is going to be what? So I'm going to have R to the 7th equals 40. And then R sine theta, R sine theta, R sine theta. That's Y times Y times Y. That's going to be Y to the what power? To the 3rd. Because there's 3 of them. And then R cosine, R cosine, R cosine. That's X. X to the what? 3rd. Now, what do I do with that R to the 7? What did that bullet say? To square it. So let's square it. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. So here we go. I have R to the 14th equals, Chav, I don't know how to do 40 squared. Yes, you do. 4 times 4 is 16. So 40 times 40 is 1600. Y to the 6, X to the 6. All right, we're so close. We're so close. R squared raised to the power 7 equals 1600 Y to the 6, X to the 6. What's the last move? Yep, into the R squared. X squared plus Y squared, close it to the 7th power, equals 1600 Y to the 6, X to the 6. Is that what they have over there? Yeah, you guys ate. You must be so full. Okay, now it's time to cook. Time to cook on Delta. All right, guys, give it a shot. The first stuff is just review, the first two. So this stuff, if you want to do the last two, that's what this is. All right, we're done. Good job, guys.